Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my picks and analysis for Week 13 of the 2016 NFL season. Well, anyway, let me get started. First game, I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys on the road to defeat the Minnesota Vikings. Dallas has won 10 consecutive games. They are on a rampage. Quarterback Dak Prescott and running back Ezekiel Elliott, they have been sensational to say the least. They are a flawless 5-0 on the road this season. You have Minnesota, though, is a very good home team, 4-1 at home. They have not played well recently. However, they're also number 32 in the NFL in rushing yards per game. That is their Achilles heel. Someone on some blog actually had predicted Minnesota to win this game. I mean, I understand Dallas on a hot streak. Streaks are meant to be broken, but I don't think it's going to be broken in this game. I think Minnesota makes it more competitive. A lot of people might think this is a home game for them. They have played very well at home. And Dallas going on the road in a Thursday night game. I understand that, but I still like the Cowboys to win this on the road. Now, next game, I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons at home to defeat the Kansas City Chiefs. Atlanta right now, they have been good at home, 3-2 at home, number 4 in total offense, number 1 in scoring offense. Be a good matchup between wide receiver Julio Jones and the cornerbacks for Kansas City. Kansas City's defense has a lot of playmakers on it. They have 13 defensive interceptions. Number 8 in scoring defense right now, giving up 19.5 points per game. And they have won 6 of 7. Kansas City has been playing well as of late. Defensive back Marcus Peters is there, and he's going to be in this game. And likely, I don't know if he's 100% healthy, but I believe he will be playing this game. And the Chiefs are also plus 14 in turnover differential. So, I mean, they win this turnover battle, they'll likely win the game, but I see Atlanta winning this one in a close one. Their offense is just going to play very well at home right now, and I like Atlanta to win this one at home. Next game, I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints at home to defeat the Detroit Lions. The Saints right now, number 1 in total offense and number 2 in scoring offense. They are scoring about 30 points per game right now. However, they're just 3-3 at home. It seems like it was just a short time ago in recent years a few years ago even, perhaps, that this was a once dominant team at home. Now, Detroit has been playing very well. I mean, they're doing this very quietly, very surreptitiously. They've won 6 of their last 7, just 2-3 on the road, but they have won 3 consecutive games. And Detroit, I mean, the Lions team does seem for real right now. It's 7-4. I could see them going in and winning this game. I just think that after last week, seeing them put up 49 points, I know it was against the Rams, but I think this is going to get them going and really get this offense playing even better, perhaps, than it has up to this point in the season. I think they'll put up enough points to beat Detroit, and I like the Saints at home in this one. Well, the next game, well, it took me a while to come to a decision on this particular game with New England at home against Los Angeles Rams, but I decided to take the Patriots in this one. Now, Patriots right now, I mean, they only have thrown 1 interception on the season. They're one of the better scoring teams in the league, scoring almost 27 points per game, and they have won the last 4 games against the Rams. And tight end Rob Gronkowski, I think his status is questionable, but even if he doesn't play, I do like their prospects in this one. Now, Los Angeles Rams, they're number 32 in scoring offense right now. They're only averaging about 15.5 points per game right now. Running back Todd Gurley has not had a 100-yard rushing game yet. I don't think he's going to get one in this game. The Rams have been struggling lately. They have not, I believe that they have lost 6 of 7 games. Some of you may have heard there's been some talk about some issues with Eric Dickerson and Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher vehemently denies it, say there's no problem, and Eric Dickerson says otherwise. A little distraction right now as well. I like New England to win this one at home. Now, the next game, I want to take the Denver Broncos to win on the road against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Denver right now, they're coming off a tough loss against Kansas City. However, playing Jacksonville is going to be a lot easier, I believe. Denver right now, number one in passing yards against per game in terms of what passing yards allowed, I should say, about 194 per game. Von Miller leads the way. 12.5 sacks, one of the best defensive players in the NFL. They are respectable 3-2 on the road, and Denver does lead the NFL with defensive sacks at 35. Jacksonville has lost 6 consecutive games. They're a floundering team right now, to say the least. And they're number 22 in passing yards per game. They're going against the vaunted pass defense of Denver. I like Denver to win this one on the road. Next game, I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers to win at home over the Houston Texans. Green Bay, despite their struggles, they are 3-2 at home, and they did win their last game. It looks like the team is rejuvenating. The defense actually played very well against the Eagles last week. The offense hasn't really been much of the problem. There's old talk, some people have talked about Aaron Rodgers and his skills deteriorating. He really has not played that bad during that 4-game losing streak they had before they won against the Eagles last week. They believe Aaron Rodgers had like 12 touchdown passes during that time, and it's not really on him. It's more of the defense. Now, interesting battle. Green Bay's number is 7th in the NFL in rushing yards allowed per game. And Houston is one of the better running teams in the NFL. Running back Lamar Miller, it'll be a good battle between him and the run defense of Green Bay. I think the run defense on Green Bay can contain Lamar Miller, and I like them to win this game at home over Houston. Now, the next game, I want to take the Cincinnati Bengals to win at home over the Philadelphia Eagles. Cincinnati, they have lost 3 consecutive games. They are still without A.J. Green. Wide receiver A.J. Green, they might miss him for the season. They've been respectable 2-1 at home. They do have tight end Tyler Eifert, and the Bengals seem like, even despite their terrible record, 3-7-1, they seem to play well, at least against the teams that are like below 500. And Philadelphia is one of those teams right now, and Philadelphia is only 1-5 on the road. They're having some issues with their playmakers on their team. They just really don't seem to have, the quarterback does not seem to have them. And really, the Eagles are 2-6 in their last 8 games, and they're also 27th in passing yards, only 27 passing yards per game. So I really think it's going to be hard for them to be passing and really sustaining drives in this game. I believe Cincinnati has to win at some point. They are at home, and their defense has actually played well the last couple of games. They had some close losses, I believe one to Buffalo, and then they lost a tight one to Baltimore last week. This one will be at Cincinnati. I'd like the Bengals to win in this one. Next game, speaking of Baltimore, I want to take Baltimore at home to defeat the Miami Dolphins. Baltimore is 4-2 at home. Right now they are number 2 in total defense and number 1 in the rush defense in terms of rushing yards allowed per game. Miami has won 6 consecutive games. They have been one of the surprises right now in the NFL. Their rushing yards per game, number 7 in the NFL. Running back Jay Ajayi he was held to a rather low total last week. I think he only got 45 yards last week. We'll see if he could get 100 in this one. I think it's going to be tough against the ravenous, I guess I could call it the ravenous defense again for the Baltimore Ravens. I understand Miami has won 6 in a row. A lot of people think they're going to continue this streak, but I think the streak is going to come to an end. It took all they had in them to beat the 49ers. 49ers almost pulled that out in the end, but they stopped quarterback Colin Kaepernick, I believe, is like the 3-yard line at their own 3-yard line, Ravens 3-yard line last week. So, and otherwise, if he got in, that 49ers likely would have won that game. But Anyway, I do like Baltimore to win this at home. They're competing with the Steelers right now for the division lead, and I think the Ravens being at home will win this. So anyway, next game, I'm going to take the Chicago Bears at home to defeat the San Francisco 49ers. I guess this is like the toilet bowl game of the week. It seems like there's a drop passes epidemic going on in Chicago. They dropped a number of passes last week against the Titans. Could have very easily defeated Tennessee. I think they had at least 2 drop passes in the end zone last week, which could have beaten the Tennessee Titans. Quarterback Matt Barkley, he played very well in that game, and I look at it like this: if they could have, it was conceivable that they could have beaten the Titans. I think they could beat the 49ers at home. For San Francisco is just 0-5 on the road. They've lost 10 consecutive games. They're number 31 in total defense and number 32 in scoring defense. They give up an awful lot of points, and I think they'll give up a fair share in this one. I do like the Bears to win this one at home. Next game, I want to take the Oakland Raiders at home to defeat the Buffalo Bills. Oakland right now has won 5 consecutive games. Quarterback Derek Carr is having a very solid season. What's interesting with their Achilles heel, or at least one of them with Oakland, it's just not just their defense in general, but it's like they're last in defensive sacks at 17, and I mean, they're gonna if they can't get to the Buffalo quarterback, Tyrod Taylor, he's it really Buffalo could make this game interesting. Buffalo is one of the leaders in the NFL in defensive sacks, and they're also number 1 in rushing yards per game. So it's going to be interesting to see that battle, who wins that between the running game of Buffalo and the run defense of Oakland. I think in this particular game, you're going to get a lot of offense from the Steelers, from the receivers are going to play very well, and I think they're going to win that battle over the cornerbacks, and I think that will be enough for Oakland to win this game. And I believe the Oakland Raiders will give them enough protection to avoid getting sacked too many times. So I do like Oakland to win this one at home. Next game, I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to win at home over the New York Giants. Now, Pittsburgh has won their last 2. Quarterback Ben Roethlisberger looks like he's playing very well right now. In the last 2 games, they've outscored the opposition 52-16, and I know that was against one of the games was against a depleted Colts team last week. But right now, the way I see it, okay, Pittsburgh is number 8 in the NFL in passing yards per game. And the New York Giants, I understand. I mean, my G-men have won 6 consecutive games they have played. I mean, they have looked almost phenomenal during this stretch, and they did beat Dallas in opening game this season. So there's a lot of reasons to think Giants can go in there and win. The thing about this game, though, I look at it like this. There were 2 games the Giants played. It was against Cleveland and the Rams, and they gave up a ton of yards in those games. I know they won both those games, but Pittsburgh Steelers can really, if they're getting everything going at home with wide receiver Antonio Brown and quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, I see them compiling a lot of passing yards, and I think they'll make more of the possessions with them, and they'll be able to get more touchdowns, say, as opposed to field goals. Giants, I mean, all streaks have to come to an end at some point, and as much as I want to pick the Giants to win, I think their streak comes to an end right now, and they're also number 23 in the NFL in passing yards per game allowed, and I think it's going to catch up with them in this game. So I like the Steelers to win at home. Next game, I'm going to take the Washington Redskins to win on the road against Arizona. Washington right now, they have played very well. They almost beat Dallas last week. They're 5-1 in their last 8 games. They're number 2 in passing yards per game. Quarterback Kirk Cousins has played very well. And really, you look at Arizona right now, they've lost 3 of 4. They've allowed 68 points in the last 2 games. They're still overall, they're number 1 in total defense in the NFL. And being at home, they do have a realistic shot of beating Washington. But right now, it's just the way they're playing in recent time. I like Washington to take this one on the road. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to beat San Diego, and Tampa Bay is on the road in this one. Tampa Bay, though, has been an exceptional road team, 4-1 on the road. The defense has really been stupendous. The defense has only given up about 11 points per game on average in the last three. During this three-game winning streak, they defeated Seattle last week and they beat Kansas City the week prior to that. I think they could go into San Diego and get this one done. San Diego, though, does have playmakers. They got 14 defensive interceptions on the season. Quarterback Phillip Rivers, you always have a shot with him. He could explode for 400 passing yards in any given game. Casey Hayward leads the way on their defense with 6 INTs on the season, but they are giving up about 26.5 points per game. Tampa Bay right now just seems like they're clicking on all cylinders. It wouldn't surprise me if they become a playoff team this season. I like Tampa Bay to win on the road. Next game, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks at home to defeat the Carolina Panthers. Seattle, I see them as a very resilient team. They don't lose 2 consecutive games very often. They really played a very poor game last week on offense, only generating 5 points. And Seattle, though, is infallible 5-0 at home this season, #1 scoring offense, and they're just giving up 17 points per game right now, and they're going to be seeking retribution after losing to Carolina in the postseason last season. I see them winning this one. Linebacker Luke Kuechly, I believe his status is questionable. Carolina's offense has been respectable, though they've averaged about 25 points per game, but they are they're a poor 1-4 on the road. I like Seattle to make it 6-0 at home this season. I'm taking the Seahawks at home. Last but not least, I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts on the road to defeat my New York Jets. Indianapolis, right now, it looks like Andrew Luck is likely playing in this game. I really think that's the main difference. I talked about seeking retribution in the other game for Seattle against Carolina. Same could apply here. Indy, as many of you know, lost to the Jets last season. I think they'll get him back this season. The Jets were a much better team last season. Jets right now, they have 0 defensive interceptions. Andrew Luck can have a field day with the Jets, and their Jets are also number 22 in passing yards allowed per game. Jets have lost 3 straight. They are reeling right now. That would be a vast understatement. Ryan Fitzpatrick was not really that bad in last week's game against the Patriots, but I think their losing streak continues, and they'll have 4 consecutive losses after this week. I think Luck is going to have a very good game in this one, and I do like the Colts to win this one on the road against the Jets. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment. And until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.